Hey guys, welcome to our keynotes. In the previous video, we have seen the introduction of Spring Framework and we have discussed the advantages of the same. In this video, I'll talk about inversion of control and dependency injection. In general, inversion of control means reversing the control, which means that in core Java, we used to create objects in a main method and we used to manage those objects, right? And we used to call the required method based on the reference. But in Spring Framework, the Spring IoC control will perform object creation, will take care of wiring the objects, means mapping the objects, the configuration, managing until the destruction of objects. The Spring Framework will take care of each and every single thing. So the user should worry only about the business logic, not about object creation and all. All right. So here we need not to do any hard code for that. So Spring IoC will take care of that. Now, this inversion of control is possible only through dependency injection. So dependency injection will provide the dependencies from the bean file. Okay. And IoC will just execute it. Means IoC will take care of that. So here you can see that Spring container. There are two possible ways to create a Spring container. And again, there are two possible injections are available in dependency injection, which means using constructor and using setter. So those are the two possibilities of dependency injection. And the two possibilities of constructors are like bean factory and application context. So which we are going to explore in detail in the upcoming slides. So the Pojo class will provide the variables, constructors, and methods. And metadata is about the annotations, which we are going to use to auto-wire the objects and all. And in this container, the user will implement the business logic. And once the application is executed, which does not require any server, because Java applications with Spring does not require any application server. So that the testing would be easy, right? So now you can see that there are two types of containers. I said a bean factory and application context. So now this is the package from this bean factory comes. So it is an interface. Both are interfaces. And again, this org.applic means this application context and bean factory are interfaces. So the big difference between this is that bean factory is for basic support of dependency injection. It provides the basic operations of DI, but here in application context, which provides some additional functionalities, which is related to enterprise specific, where a few more extra operations can be implemented. Now, here there is a demonstration of dependency injection. You can see that there is a class text editor and there is something called as spell checker. Now this is a constructor and you can see that the object is created over here. Now the thing is this class should manage this object, which means it should worry about managing this object. And also there is a dependency created between the class and then this spell checker. Okay, this we need to avoid. So how to avoid that? So if you refer this, instead of creating an object, there is a constructor with a parameter and we are using this dot spell checker equal to spell checker. Now there is no object or no direct object here. Now this class text editor need not to worry about this spell checker because there is no dependency created between both and then there is no object, right? Even though in future if this name got changed and the class don't have any sort of dependencies, so no need to change the entire program and all. So this is actually the dependency injection. This is how we can eliminate creating objects. Fine. So in this case the object will be created in the background by the Spring framework and which is managed by IoC. All right. Now dependency injection can be done in two ways. One is constructor based dependency, and then the second one is setter getter setter methods we will be using in that. Okay, so now let's quickly dive into the demo so that we can understand this better. Let me open NetBeans and create a new project. All right, and then I will say constructor di. Okay, so now the project is created. We can see that. Let's create a Pojo class first, and then we'll come up with. So what I need to do is that uh, let me create a class, plain class. Then we'll call it as employee. Okay. Now I need to create two variables inside this. So let me keep it as private in ID, and I'm going to have something like oops. Okay, we'll keep string name, and then I'm going to have some constructors because this demo is for constructor based dependency injection. So my class name is employee, and I'll keep it as, so let me keep this constructor as public. Okay, now I'll create one more constructor with one single parameter, that is ID, and then here I will say this dot ID because the constructor name and parameter name is same here. And let's do this. Okay, and then I'll create one more constructor with another parameter, that is, let's do it for string, that is name, and then I'll say this dot name equal to name. All right, and the last option, that is, I can create both parameters, and then I would say that this dot ID equal to ID, and then this dot name equal to name. All right, perfect. Now let's have one method to display all the values. Uh, Show and SOUT tab. Let me say ID equal to, and I'll print ID here, and then I'll say mm, name equal to. Let's have some space. Okay, so name equal to plus name. Okay, let's format this like format. Okay, now it is perfectly aligned. You can see that. So this is Pojo class. Now we are done with this. Now let's go to the, we'll create an XML file, I mean the bean file. So go here and then select other, and then Spring XML config is the file which you need to select. Next, and let's name it as bean. Okay, and with this, I'll say next. Let's keep 3.2.7 as the framework and add the framework and then finish it off. So once you do this, you will get this. Okay, now the thing is that we need to pass, we can pass the constructor arguments from here. So now for that, we have to say, we have to create a bean. So that is bean ID equal to, let's say E, this is the bean ID, class is equal to, uh, the class name is employee. Okay, let's keep, we'll keep only the last name, that's fine. All right, and so now I need to pass the arguments. So I'll call it as constructor arg, and then the value is something int value, right? It's 10 and type equal to int. Okay, and then let's close this over here. And then we'll do the same for the string, that is rk. And let's do this. It's not required for this. Okay, that's it. Now these two values will go into the two parameterized constructor, and then I'll call the method in the main class. So let's do that. So this is our main class, and let me rename this refactor, rename, and we'll apply this constructor. Fine. Now, I need to import two packages over here. That is from the Spring Beans. So let me say import org dot spring dot beans dot factory dot bean factory. And then I need to say import again org dot spring dot beans dot, let me say, beans factory. Okay, and XML dot XML bean factory. I'll take, okay, because I need to read XML file as well. Okay, then import org dot spring. And then let me say, let me take the core for input output, and then that's it. Now within this, so here, let me, I need to get the resource in the sense the XML file. So I have the arguments right over there. So I'll say class path resource. So the resource is in the name of beans.xml, right? Okay. And then I need to say bean factory, and then f equal to new XML bean factory. And then I need to pass this resource R into that. And now this is the most important step. The class name is employee. Let me say s equal to f dot get bean. So the bean ID is what? E, which we have created in the beans.xml. Now using this reference s, let me call show method. That's it. I guess I need to typecast this class. Yeah. Okay. Now it is done. Now let's run this. Let's run the main class. It's unable to read beans.xml. Okay. So what we can do is that let's remove this package, and we'll move to the default folder. I mean the default package. Okay. And then I'll move this beans into this. So right now I have all my application, means my files in the default packages. And then let me run this again. Okay, there is a problem with 3.2.7. Okay, so I'll do one thing, that I'll keep 3.0, then spring beans Okay, I've changed it. I've downgraded it, and then it should work now. Okay, you can see that. So the ID is 10 and the name is RK. So this is how you can, create or you can inject. So these values are injected into the uh, main class over here. Fine. Means from XML file. So I'm calling the beans. So the bean XML will be called over here. And then whatever the values we have, those values will injected into this Gojo class constructors. Fine. So this is the constructor based dependency injection example. Now let's perform the getter setter based dependency injection. So for that, I need to create a file new project and then setter di. Let me create setter di. And now for this, I'll be doing something like uh, finish. Now here, where is the project? Okay, over here. And let me minimize this. Now I'll create the same like a plain class student. And then inside this, I'm going to have have, let's have only one variable, private string name, and then I'm going to say, okay, we need only getter and setter, right? So let's right click and do insert code getter and setter. Select this. Okay. Now we need one method to display the values. So let me say void display info, and then I'm going to create printout statement where I'm going to say setter, and then I'll just print the name. Okay, fine. This is Pojo class. This is done. Now let's quickly go to the package name, and then we'll create the bean file, which is required to inject the values. So the name is going to be bean again. We'll keep it as beans. Okay. Next, and then let's have 3.2.7 now, and then finish it. Okay, hope it is created. Fine. So if it is not working, we'll still downgrade this. Now we have to create a bean. So bean ID equal to, let's say, um, stu. That's it. And then the class is equal to which class we are working with. That is student, right? So I'm going to say student. That's it. And let me open and we'll close the beans here. Okay, now we have only the getter setter methods. So I need to say property name equal to, we have only one variable that is called as name, and then the value is going to be, I'm going to say RK keynotes. Okay, done. Let me close this. So the bean ID is stu. Fine. Now we have to go to the main method, and then we need to import the required packages over here. So let's import that. In the previous example, using constructor, we have implemented bean factory, right? Now let's do something different. Let's bring the application context, and then we'll see what happens. So spring framework dot context dot application context. Okay, that's an interface. And then again, import org dot spring framework dot context dot support dot class path XML application context. Okay, fine. Now, what I want to do here is that let me create an object for this. Whatever it is, bean factory or application context, you need to create an object. Application context. Okay, context equal to uh, new class path XML application context. And then I need to say I need to pass the beans.xml, right? This is the file which is to be read. And let's create a now student obj, let's say, equal to context dot get beans. In get beans, we have to say the bean name, that is student stu we have created, and then let's call obj dot get name as the getter method, and then I need to say after getting it I need to print the information. Fine. Again, casting, type casting, right? Yeah. Okay. Now done. So let us run this. I need to run the main method in class. Okay, similar error, which I guess, okay, beans.xml. So let's do one thing. Uh, we'll change the location over here to default, and then even here I'll just comment and take it to the, similarly I'll just take this to default package. Now, okay, fine. Now let me run this again. The problem still persists, so there is an issue with the version of Spring Framework which we have created. So let's go to XML beans and we'll do the same which we did it in the last experiment. We'll downgrade it to Spring Beans 3.0. Okay, and okay, I guess this is fine now. Or we'll bring it this so that now this is clear. Fine. So now let me run this. Okay, now we got this. We got the output. So this property values got injected into the Pojo class setter method, and then in the main class, in main method, we are calling the XML file and we are displaying the values into it. So this is how dependency injection with the getter and setter method and constructor can be performed. Hope you like this video. If you like the video, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you and thanks for watching this.